Dynamic Duo
here doing a review about Bellator versus Rizin. Now, first thing I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed.
I'm not.
Let's just say the fights weren't as good as they should have been.
But I'm pretty happy that they did it. This is the first time organizations are really crossing over, major ones. Fact of the matter is, UFC, they cower down.
UFC says they have the best fighters in the world, but, excuse me, why aren't you in this tournament then?
Seriously. Rizin and Bellator put their best fighters against, or at least top-level fighters against each other. UFC, it would be great if you did it. Do it more like boxing. Don't worry about the championship organization. I mean, the only thing that ever holds up boxing is networks, and eventually somebody comes to terms. But honestly, I'm not disappointed. I love the way everything was set up. They did it in Japan.
They had a good setup. That's one thing.
Bellator went to Japan, fought in Rizin's ring, not cage, ring.
And rules.
And which is a lot tougher than what we do here in the U.S. Japan, I give them that. It's like almost no holds bar. And in all honesty, I wish other organizations would do this. This is what all MMA fans have been wanting for years. I know I'm not the only one. I know he's not the only one. Now, also, in an earlier interview we had with the Polish Superman, Jan, I can't say his last name, I'm not going to show that.
Jan Boracek
made clear that Dana White talked to his fighters to make it very clear they're not allowed to participate in these kind of tournaments.
Which
this episode is not about.
No, it's not.
UFC cowering down and being afraid of losing. Well, if fans want that, we'll do a special on that later.
Just message us, okay?
But right now, the whole focus will be Bellator versus Rizin. Yeah. Now, here is the lineup they had. Very good top-level fighters right here. In all honesty, if I'm destroying anybody's names, please forgive me. Gadasi Rabadhanov. He's part of the Magmadov family. Everybody remembers Khabib. This is another distant cousin.
Honestly, I think Takada got, robbed.
Koji Takada honestly got robbed of that fight. He won that. It was close, don't get me wrong. These guys honestly started it off so well. The fight was still good. He was no punk. He did fight. He was forced to fight. You could see it. He was really forced. Takada totally gave a great performance. He was robbed of this fight completely. Now, Juan Archuleta versus Soo-Chul Kim. Let me tell you something. Nobody has a better walkout than Juan Archuleta. No one did.
Oh, yeah.
Not even close. This fight was good, too. Dominant on Archuleta, but one judge actually gave it to Kim. It was a 2-1 decision.
Honestly, Kim did not really know how to fight. I'll with you. I was like a guy. I'm like, dude, you don't know how to fight.
Honestly, I think it was Juan that threw him off on styles. But Kim is an ex-1FC champ as well,
which he does show that he's a veteran.
In case they didn't make clear, Takada lost by decision in the very first bout. Juan Archuleta, he won by decision, split decision. But it was a very entertaining fight. You could not at all deny how good it was. 2 fights in a row. Bellator was 2-0 with them. All decisions, but they were still great fights. Lightweights and bantamweights represented very well. We come to the flyweights. Here we go. Kyoji Hiraguchi. Hiraguchi was a former Bellator champ. Also, former Rizin champ before he went to Bellator. Only person to beat him in Bellator is Sergio Pettis, who now has the flyweight belt. Hiromasa Agui Kaboa. If I am mispronouncing the name, please forgive me. I am not purposely doing this. They fought already twice. It was honestly...
Yeah, it was okay, that's where it started getting boring. Okay, they wanted to keep it on the ground. I understand that, okay?
Ground is wonderful when you're active. Active groundwork is wonderful.
But this wasn't active groundwork. All they were doing was just holding each other.
Like, they look old. Realistically, they look old. Yeah. They're not even old either. That's the funny part.
And the weird part is they didn't try to stop each other. They didn't try to knee each other in the head. Nothing.
All is welcomed. You can kick a ground opponent. That's what made it so tough, so beautiful. Yeah. There's no limits on the elbow style striking. where there is in the U.S. The fact is, this was supposed to be probably the best fight due to the fact that Horiguchi was a former Rizin champion, and he beat this guy twice. Last time was by decision, but the first time he submitted him. There was some moments in there. Take nothing away. There was some moments in there.
There was a couple, but there could have been a lot more. A lot more. I mean, you know, like I said, okay, I'm okay with the ground, okay? I think it's okay that people are using grappling a lot, okay? But still, strike, okay? Or if you're on the ground, move, try to get in submissions. Okay, don't just lay there, you know, sandbag the guy. Come on. What's wrong with you?
The ref was a Bellator ref. This was someone from the U.S. He was a little off.
Yeah, so he looked a little confused.
He's very seasoned. If you see him, he is very, very, very seasoned. But yeah, boring fight. A lot of respect. There's a lot of respect between Bellator and Rizin. But let's move on. Featherweight bout. Patricio Pitbull, little brother, he is in there. The featherweight champ, fighting Caliber Kioki, another Brazilian, who, by the way, won all his Rizin fights with submission. So we knew it was more of a striker versus grappler. Again, disappointed.
Pitbull, okay?
Getting old, my opinion now.
I don't think he's getting old. I think he was just
too safe. That's the problem. The last fight and the Pitbull fight, they were playing it too safe. You can't do that in such a big organization.
The problem was they wanted Bellator to win. Like, you know, Pitbull, he wanted Bellator to win. You know, he wanted this fight as a victory, okay? But here's the thing. You're barely throwing one kick, one punch, and then you're backing up. You're laughing at the guy. You're tormenting the guy, okay? But you're not really doing anything.
Well, and then let's also throw the blame at Kioki.
Kioki, buddy, you don't even know how to throw a kick or a punch. No. A good front snap kick, you actually know how to do that.
Yeah, that was it. But it was more like, please get away from me, don't hurt me.
I mean, every time come on, you're bowing your head and doing this. What's wrong with you? Come on.
You don't learn how to strike. You're living in Japan. He left Brazil to move to Japan. He's fighting Rizin. You mean to tell me there's no good... In Japan, striking in Japan, besides grappling, Japan has wonderful strikers.
Now, I will admit, at least...
has anybody ever heard of karate, for Christ's sakes?
Koki did have some good ground. When he was on the ground, he was trying to do a lot of submissions.
But with that said, though, I mean, again, the Pitbull brothers have black belts in jiu-jitsu. They've had them for many years. So, but yeah, Patricio, I figured was going to really pick it up on the fifth round. It didn't... I'm sorry, third round. No, it was fifth round? No, third. That's right, because nobody put their titles on the line. This was just for bragging rights. Unfortunately, no. He did for a little bit, then he stopped. That's why I said he must be getting old. This just didn't look right. I don't even want to continue because I am a Pitbull fan. Now, AJ McKee and Robert De Sosa.
Okay, AJ McKee,
for the lightweights.
He was doing everything that he could, okay? He was stomping on the guy's head. He was kneeing him on the ground, elbowing him on the ground. I mean, AJ kept doing every single thing he can do to win. But what did this guy do? Another submission artist. Okay?
Again, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Be active. Be active. No one wants to see you. They don't fight like this normally in their organization.
It was like the last 30 seconds in, you know, the last round. He tried going for a submission, and he almost had it, but it wasn't there. He didn't really have it.
It was just too desperate. In all honesty, I ended up falling asleep, to be honest with you. It was just like, oh, God. AJ's trying everything. McKee is really trying to finish this off, make it into an exciting fight.
Yeah.
But, no, it just wasn't there. Now, it was a sweep. Bellator won. But all decisions, though.
No knockouts, no submissions.
Again, the first fight was BS. Rizin should have got that victory. There was honestly no question. The Takada was probably the best Rizin fighter out of all of them, in my opinion. I don't understand how they did not give it to him. All the others, yes, it's not questionable who won. Bellator swept them.
Which I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming at all.
Neither did I. Honestly, I thought they would have been a little more competitive. But you know, it takes it to new levels. And the fact of the matter is, Bellator now has the bragging rights. And honestly, this was still entertaining enough. I mean, the last three fights were disappointing, but I don't completely blame Rizin though either. Again,
Bellator played it too safe.
Yeah, just for victory. And again, like you said, McKee really did try to pick it up, but there was nothing he could do. Hirochi and Pitbull were the two that honestly could have done a lot more. They did have moments. I mean, their victories were all decisions, but yet Hirochi had moments to finish.
Honestly, I'm not saying they didn't come here to fight. It's just because of the bragging rights, they just.
I don't know. Maybe it was too much for them. I mean, this is historical.
It might have been that. Honestly, it might have been that.
But Juan Archuleta, the from PCR, all about his Spaniard heritage. He's Spaniard and Mexican. Dad's Spanish, mother's Mexican. Always comes in about that. Well, he had a pretty good career, but for the first time, he is all about being a Mexican. He is honoring his mother's heritage.
Yes.
I'll admit there's some bias here due to the fact that we're Mexicans as well.
Yep.
But he came in as an Aztec Jaguar.
And a perfect dance.
Perfect dance, great performance. Everybody was happy to see this fight. And all honesty, Archuleta, if you're watching this, keep embracing your Mexican side. It's working for you, okay? It's working.
You're going to keep winning, okay?
Yes, it's okay to be a Mexicano, okay? One thing I got to say, though, is I love the honorable respect every fighter showed to each other. The audience, so well disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
Very pleasant.
Very respectful.
Ring card girls, of course, all beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides. They had Bellator and they had Rizin. Oh my God.
They're very beautiful.
They stole my heart. But honestly, this was wonderful. I'm glad they ended the year with this tournament here. I hope they do more of this. I hope ONE FC gets involved.
Oh, yeah. Or PFL or another.
I don't see PFL. It would make sense considering they're a very small organization.
But
honestly, UFC already, again, watch
PFL is the minor league to UFC.
Yeah, seriously. So they might get in there, and hopefully that would finally be entertaining. Again, I don't really watch PFL too often. It bores me, to be honest with you. They're just not hungry enough fighters, in my opinion. But again, ONE FC, I would love for them to get in this, honestly. If it's Rizin ONE FC, I would gladly pay a pay-per-view to watch them.
Oh, yeah.
If it's Bellator ONE FC, oh my God, I am losing the remote. There's no way I'm going to go anywhere. I mean, this is just, or a mixture of all four organizations. Since the UFC doesn't want to get in there, let the other top four organizations get in there and mix it in. I mean, you could really have a great matchups that would be wonderful to watch. Rizin has the right idea to push for this, and again, go back to saying I respect Rizin so much. I am now a fan. I don't look down on these fighters that much, despite Gobo and Kyoki and De Souza not really holding their own. You know what? Kim and Takada made me Rizin fans.
But they were probably just a little off today, you know.
I also, being on Showtime, in case anybody didn't know, Bellator's on Showtime. Being on Showtime might have did something to them because, again, for them, it's like, oh my God, I am on a big stage now, a big American stage. And,
so they probably got a little nervous, honestly.
And for the Bellator fighters, again, with the sold-out arena, because it looked so packed in there, maybe that was a lot, too, because Archuleta said that was a dream of his, watching Pride, growing up watching that organization, to be on there, to fulfill a dream. He was thanking Kim so much for it. So maybe it's nerves. Maybe, not to make an excuse for them, but maybe that was a little too much for them. So, again, I do highly recommend watching this.
It is good. It is good. Just, if you want to see knockouts and submissions, you're not going to see it there.
No, but the first two fights are honestly the best to watch. And we'll put on right now the rules. Here are the rules. This is more Rizin's rules. So the fights were no joke. They don't have this in the U.S. Honestly, I think if they did, it would be great. And due to the fact that it's a ring, all honesty, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good for a wrestler. You can't just press them up against the cage. They don't allow that. And they do stand you up if you're just pity-pattering punches. Certain type of fighters who got away with BS wins would never survive in Japan.
They get killed.
Hope you enjoyed this. By all means, give it a shot.
Give it a like.
Watch it. Give an opinion.
Give a comment down below. Come on, All
right. And also,
now remember to like and subscribe. Catch you later.